Hello everyone, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Mom.
And this is Millennial and Mom. And in today's video, we are here to recap Mama June from Not to Hot Season 4, Episode 11, Mama's Face-Off. Something that we all have been looking forward to. Hopefully, WeTV doesn't play us and tells us her secret. So, let's get into the video. As we said last week, Mama June walks into the room bawling her eyes out instantly. But Pumpkin got some questions.
Well, yeah, Pumpkin is very calm. Like, I was surprised she'd be calm. I thought she'd be more like, where you been? Da-da-da kind of thing, you know? But she wasn't. And Pumpkin's questions were, where have you been? But not as loud and as vocal. And Mama's like, I've been around and... I've been here, I've been there. I've been trying to text you. I want to see the kids. She's like, no.
Right. No, you haven't been picking up the phone when people were calling. All she did was comment on baby Ella's Instagram. That was it.
Yeah. But, before I talked into where Mama June has been, Pumpkin goes on to say, she's like, wow, I'm not used to seeing Mama like this. She used to get her hair done every 2 weeks, her nails done every 2 weeks. She got a tooth missing. All this stuff is going on. I mean, she did look bad. I have to say she looked like a stereotypical what someone who might be an addict would look like. I mean, June looked exactly like that.
Well, she didn't deny that she was taking drugs. She just denied that she was taking hard drugs at the moment.
Pumpkin's saying how Alana's taking this hard. Even Ella's like, I want to see Gigi. And June is like, well, it's not like I haven't texted you. I begged you to see those kids. And Pumpkin's like, no, you're not going to see them because pretty much of your lifestyle. She goes, matter of fact, I know where you've been. You've been in that motel and you're lucky I haven't drove by to come kick your ass.
Oh, she knew?
She knew where she was.
That's so funny that she knew, but yet Dota was all around town in the other state looking for her and can never find her.
Right.
That's so interesting.
So she was like, so what happened with the house? Why'd you sell it? She's like, well, we sold it because we got dead broke. And I'm like, what?
How's that even plausible?
And then Pumpkin called her out like, the house was supposed to be for us, for the girls, everything. So did Gino talk you into this? She's like, no, Gino didn't talk me into it. Pumpkin's not buying that. She's like, you've been following behind Gino this whole time. Don't you remember he is so abusive to you and you had to call the cops on him, all the things that happened on TMZ? Gina's like, no, he never laid a hand on me, regardless of what you heard. She's like, so why you call the cops on him? And then she wanted to say, you would have never put up with this stuff from Sugar Bear. So what's the difference now? And June really couldn't explain that. But June said that the reason why they're staying in a motel is so that they can hold on to a little bit of money that they have. And to me, you wouldn't have to do all that if you weren't running behind Gino with these gambling debts, things like that. And it turns out, I think one of the reasons why they're living in that motel, because June dropped a bombshell. That bombshell was they have a $2,500 a day habit.
Of the drug, of the cocaine, of the Xanax, or all of them combined?
Whatever their habit is $2,500 a day. So
how do they even have $2,500 a day to even spend?
Well, since the house was paid for in full, so whoever they had to pay off, I guess, the house was a nice house in a nice area. So $2,500, that's a large habit, regardless of what they're taking. I mean, that is astronomical. And it kind of seemed like it was $2,500 a piece. So I don't know.
That's even crazier if it is.
Also, out of that conversation, Pumpkin says this to June. She says, you know what? I also get tired of Jennifer throwing things in my face that she's seen you do. Now, Jennifer is a whole different topic. She didn't touch on it, but Jennifer does throw everything June does back in her face. She also mentioned, we also heard from Jessica. The car got repossessed. And June was like, oh, I didn't mean for that to happen. Well, it happened. Pumpkin even said, I even struggled helping her get another car. And June's looking at her like dumbfounded, like, oh, you did, And the thing is, June, again, doesn't realize what she's doing because of her addiction. And Pumpkin goes on to say, you know what, Mama? In order for you to be able to come back around the family, there is 3 stipulations. The first stipulation is you need to get a working phone.
She has one.
Well,
according to her.
well, it only goes to voicemail or whatever. So get a working phone. Pretty much keep it on when we call. 2, you need to go to inpatient rehab. June looks at her and says no. June does not want to go to inpatient rehab because she says she doesn't want to give up everything. And they're like, what? Give up what? Like Gino? Probably so. But she did say she's going to go to outpatient rehab. So maybe she'll go to that. But the surprise was you have to take a drug test to see if you pass it. So out comes Dr. Ish with a drug test. What do you think about that?
I thought that it was interesting that Pumpkin made all those stipulations for Mama June to come back in because even though I already knew this, on screen she makes it seem like she's so adamant, like, you know, she don't want Mama to come back in her life until, you know, she really does X, Y, and Z, and she already denied the inpatient rehab. Do you really honestly think that she's going to do the outpatient rehab? Right now, I personally don't think so. And with the drug test, Mama June tried to make it seem like, oh yeah, I can take it. I haven't done that since like way back when, but I only did Xanax and all this other stuff. And whenever someone's like that, you already know what the real tea is.
Well, maybe they can't keep up with what they're taking from day to day. If your habit is that high, I'm guessing you just taking whatever.
You know what you take day to day because that's what you want to take day to day.
Well, June takes the test. Pumpkin goes in with her to make sure that she's really peeing and not bringing pee that may have been in her purse or wherever. So when the results came back, there was results for the Xanax and something else that she takes for anxiety. It was already in her system, but the bombshell was cocaine.
There wasn't any results for the Xanax. The things that she said that she took wasn't in the drug test.
But if you admit to it, they're not going to screen. They'll screen for it, but it's not going to be like, oh, you have this, this, and this because you admitted to what you take.
Well, I think that kind of drug test that Dr. Ish used is a drug test that you can test to see what kind of specific drug was in your system.
Okay. The bombshell was the cocaine.
You said still the bombshell is the cocaine in her system that she tried to make it seem like she took months ago. And of course, she denied all allegations basically. Said, you know, basically the test is wrong. There should be Xanax. I just took it. And there shouldn't be cocaine because I haven't taken it since a long time ago. But you can't deny a test.
Then we see the next day. Pumpkin, Josh, Alana, little Ella all go over to Dodo's house for a barbecue. They're sitting around. Ella's so cute. Then she gets so big. She is so cute. Dodo takes Pumpkin off like, so how'd it go? You know, how was it with your mom and how did Alana take it? She's like, well, I haven't told Alana yet. She's like, what, you didn't? She's like, well, no, I didn't want to tell her because, you know, I didn't want to disappoint her, you know, because who knows if mom's going to show up or whatever.
Not
And
only disappoint her, make her upset because she wasn't allowed to go see her mom.
yeah. So once they sit down for the lunch, then Dodo's daughter is like, so how'd it go with your mom? And Alana's face dropped.
I think she did that on purpose.
I hope not. But Alana's face dropped. She's like, what? You saw Mama? How come you didn't tell me? Pumpkin's like, I was going to tell you. But she did go on to tell her that, you know, we didn't tell you to protect you. And Alana, I think she understood that. But Alana asked questions like, you don't think so?
I don't think she's understanding that part of what she really needs to be protected from because that's her mom.
That's actually a really good point. Alana goes on to say, you know, so how's she looking? What's she been up to? So on and so forth. So Pumpkin gives her a little bit of what happened. And Alana's excited that her mom has decided to go to rehab. So at least to start, because you know what? She says the ideal situation would be for her mom to get clean and they could all be a family together again. Now we see it says 3 days after the meeting, June decides to meet up with Pumpkin so Pumpkin can drive her to the rehab place. I was surprised that she was really going to go.
I was surprised too, but giving their 2,500 habit plus living in a motel, she might be doing this to hopefully get on her feet and do something better and no more drugs.
I hope so. And I was just surprised that Gina wasn't around for the first meetup or for this meetup going to outpatient. So I'm just curious to know, like, how does she talk to Gino or let him know that she was going somewhere without him? Because they seem like they're two peas in a pod and they go everywhere together.
Either they're not talking to each other at the moment or production has a restraining order on him.
One of the two, right? So while Pumpkin is driving Mama to the rehab, I think June's a little apprehensive of going, but she knows in order to get clean, to see her children, she needs to try something. Like, she really needs to get it together.
Yeah, maybe she thinks this is her last chance, her last hope, especially with Pumpkin. Not so much with Alana, but since Pumpkin's over the age of 18, one of her many kids who's over the age of 18
Right.
that actually still talks to her, she feels like, you know, I need to take this chance to get right.
Yeah.
And I really, 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 really hope she does, for the sake of, one, all of her children, and two, Pumpkin, because you can see that she's going through it, and Alana as well.
Well, the main person you need to get help for is herself. Because if you don't get help for yourself, you can't help your children and you can't help anybody else. So once they arrive to the facility, she's kind of like dragging her feet a little bit, but she goes in. The counselor started talking and asked, like, what's the background? How'd you get here? And Mama says this. June says, well, you know, I'm here because the courts, they're going to look at it like, you know, I'm doing this rehab and, you know, it looks like I'm doing something I'm supposed to be doing. And they were like, so you're doing it because the courts, you're doing it because you want to. And she didn't really answer that question, but I'm leaning towards she's doing it for the courts.
Right, that disappointed me right there, because even if she didn't really answer the question, she already said what she said and didn't re-clarify it. So
yeah, and that upset Pumpkin because she's like, she really wants her to get her mind right, get it together, because again, this only benefits Mama first, and then everything else where kids are concerned should fall in line to better the relationship. So they decide to tell her, well, you know what? We're happy you're here. It just takes one step. Just try to be clean for like 3 hours to start or something. She's like, 3 hours? But, you know, you have to start somewhere. Then they decide to let her go talk to the counselor. And she's talking to the counselor. And she's also asking her, you know, what are you here for? The background and everything. And June's just talking in circles. She's like, you know what? You just saying a bunch of nothing pretty much. But in conclusion, I hope June stays for the first day because it's outpatient, and so she could leave. And I do believe that's one of Pumpkin's fears too, when she leaves the outpatient and go back to Gino, because if one's getting high, she might be tempted to get high too. So, you know, Pumpkin's a little upset about that, but I hope June takes the first step in the right direction.
I really hope that she, as she said earlier,
Yeah.
does take this serious, and not only does it for TV or for the courts, just for herself first, because Mom's right, herself first,
Right.
and with her kids in mind, so she can be happy and healthy with them. But it's going to be so many steps that she needs to take and
Yes.
actually progressively takes for this to actually happen. And whether it's still on TV, because it's starting to look really sad.
Not starting to look sad. It is sad.
Well, it's been sad, but as you see her, and you can see that she's denying all the allegations against her, but you already know that it's true because you can see it on her face and the drug test and the TMZ report. It's just so much that I just hope that she really reels it in and takes this outpatient serious. All right, everyone. So that was the end of this week's episode. And while we had a bombshell, that Mom called it, which really wasn't a bombshell.
Well, it was for June.
We didn't get that secret we were promised. And now we have to wait an additional 2 more weeks for that secret. Plus, next week is going to be the behind the scenes of what happened in this episode. So, I'm interested to see it and wanting to hear a secret, because maybe this secret is for her to be on the path of doing right. What do you think?
I hope so. June needs this, the family needs this, and they're rooting for her. She doesn't even realize how hard they're rooting for her and how much they look for her when they couldn't find her. So I just hope that she's on the right path this time, and I'm looking forward to see her get better.
Well, let us know what you guys thought about this week's episode and the next following week with The Secret. So make sure you like this video, you share this video to other people who watch Mama June, and you also subscribe to our channel.
Thank you all for watching, and thank you to our brand new subscribers. And as always, live simply, be grateful.